Looking at this slide today in particular, many of us are thinking about the areas and that knocked out our Vermillion sewer lines. I don't know, most of you probably know this, but we lost the Rotary fishing pier along the walking path in Cotton Park. It was washed away. The foundations are still there, but the rest of the pier was washed away. So we'll have to talk about what we're going to do about that. It makes me really happy every time I read about the almost complete eradication of polio in the world. And I can't help but think that if Rotarians take on other challenges facing the planet, there's almost no problem we couldn't solve by working together with other Rotarians and civic organizations. So you have a worksheet on your table. I'm a teacher. My students always think they're going to get out of class with no homework, and they almost never do. So neither will you. I'd like for everybody to think about these 7 areas of focus and think about how we can use those 7 areas as a way to think about how we can do better serving our community or our district, our state, our country, our world. You don't have to put your name on it. You don't even have to fill out the worksheet now. But if you have an idea for one of these things, this would be a good time to jot it down, brainstorm a little, take some notes, hand it to me or Kathy or Doug or Kevin or Mark after the meeting, and we can start thinking about ways to expand what we do related to these different areas. So I'd love to hear what your ideas are, and so think about that. You don't even have to do it today. You can take them home and turn them in later. I'm not a stickler for deadlines with my students either. So, all right, so thinking about the upcoming year, I do have several goals for the year ahead. It's okay, leave that there. Our membership committee, which has been Rich Holland, Kelsey Collier-Wise, Ted Munster, Jacob Quayle. Am I missing anybody? And Kevin will be the chair of that membership committee as past president. They're planning a membership drive for September, so we'll be talking about that a little bit more in the coming weeks. But we welcome visitors and potential members anytime. I joined Rotary because a Facebook friend posted an invitation on her Facebook feed. You can check out our speakers, invite someone for a week when you think the speaker will really spark their interest, invite them for fellowship and conversation. I would love to see the club grow by about 10% this year. That's only 7 people. We have about 64 members right now, I think, and so I'm rounding up. But if we could grow by 7 members, that would be 10%. And that would be one of the fastest growing clubs in our district. So that's my goal. Start bringing more guests. I'd also, what happened to my slide there? That's supposed to say, there we go, people of action. I'd also like to think a little bit more of our the Rotary's People of Action campaign. We are people of action in our community. You see Rotarians everywhere doing a lot of different things. And one of the reasons I picked these pictures is because I couldn't have a presentation without Tim Shorn in it. So there's and he's not even here today. So, he missed out. But one of the things that Kevin did last year was to set up some committees, including a service committee and a social committee. We've done a little bit, but I'd like to see those committees be a little bit more active. I think our service committee is 2 people right now, Emmanuel and me, right? And I'm kind of doing the president thing. So we definitely need more people on that committee. And we'd love to see more people on the social committee also. We need to have time as a club to socialize and relax and get to know each other a little bit outside of these once a week Wednesday meetings. I'd love to see more informal gatherings, whether it's a morning coffee hour or a happy hour or anything in between, where we can come together with guests and potential members and just have some fun together. So those 2 committees in particular, I'll be bugging people over the next few weeks to sign up. And then as the sort of year gets started in September, everybody's back from vacation, start thinking about some things that we'd like to do as a club. That was it. So again, I'm honored to have the opportunity to serve as president of the Vermillion Rotary Club this year. I really look forward to working with all of you, and I thank you for trusting me with the future of the club. So, thank you. right, so we're getting out a little early today. I didn't want to talk.
You haven't asked the questions yet.
Oh, I'm sorry, questions. Yes.
How does a person from a megalopoulos of millions of people pick a small town Vermillion to come to? Tell me a little bit about how you did that.
I came here for the job. I was doing a job search. We decided we wanted to leave New York City. Life there is hard, especially with a 10-year-old, and we just wanted him to have a different kind of childhood and high school experience. So I found the job here, came for an interview, loved it. And
Where did you grow up?
Oh, I grew up in Ohio. I grew up in suburban Cincinnati. So I'm not originally from New York. My husband's from North Florida. He's from a small town in North Florida, so yeah.
I want to follow that up.
Sure.
New York has one of the highest tax bases in the country.
It does.
Does that have anything to do with looking in South Dakota?
It didn't, but yeah, that was a big change. Our state tax bill was huge in New York, so yeah. We had, yes. I wrote thousands of dollars in checks to the state every year, so yeah, that was a nice surprise, but no, it wasn't part of the decision. Yeah.
Could you tell us a little bit about your work supporting students that are applying for national scholarships?
Yeah, so I help students sort of figure out what they want to apply for, think about if it's a good fit for them. I'll have students coming to me every year saying, like, I want to be a Rhodes Scholar, and then they look at Oxford and they're like, well, there's not a program there I want, right? So we have that conversation, and then my background is in teaching writing. I taught freshman composition for a long time. So I help them with their essays and with their applications, and I always say that they hate me a little bit in the middle of the process because I make them revise and revise and revise and revise. But we've had a really good success rate with students. I mean, as you all know, we had 2 Truman Scholars last year, which was like unheard of. We were only one of two schools in the country to have that. And we get a few Fulbright finalists every year. Ryan Conover, who won the Rotary Scholarship, also was a critical language scholar. So we do well for a small state. We are competitive with, the Ivy League schools in a lot of ways. So
I just want to add you do extraordinarily well.
Oh, thank you. Thanks. That's probably my favorite part of the job, actually. I love working with those students.
What's your favorite Rotary memory so far?
I'm assuming that I came in second in the duck race last year.
Well, I was going to say it's when I came in second in the duck race the year before. And I won the football pool twice, not last year, but the year before, so those were good. Yeah. But this year was the first year I'd actually been able to go to the duck race, and so that was really fun to see that. So, but they're all good memories. Anybody else have questions? Yeah, Chuck.
Other than increasing membership, is there any other goal that you have in mind?
Well, like I said, I'd really like to see our committees grow a little bit and function a little more. I'd like to see more actual service in the community. I mean, we support the community very well through our dues and with our dollars. I'd like to see us out there a little more as Rotarians, as a club, doing whatever needs to be done in the community. So I'm hoping that the service committee kind of can take off. And then I'd like to see more social opportunities as well. I'm kind of an introverted person, like I said, but, I'd like to have opportunities, other than the lunches to kind of, get together. I think those are also good opportunities to bring guests, something a little less formal, to just kind of talk to people in the club and find out what it's all about. So I'd really like to see us grow in those 2 areas in particular. And I guess I'd also like to see us, the Rotaract Club just started up kind of late last year. So figure out how we're going to work with the Rotaract folks as well. I think they can be they're mostly young college students. They're very energetic, and I think they can help us with some of that visibility in the community as well. So, yeah.
Do we have a liaison with the Rotary?
Yeah, well, Tim Shorn and Anna Stork were kind of the 2 who put it together, but I'm on the board as well, or the steering committee or whatever we've called it for Rotaract. A lot of the students in Rotaract are also honors students, so I know most of them pretty well. So, yeah, we try to keep that line of communication going. Yes?
We did, I don't know if everybody knows this, but for the bike helmet day, we had 4 or 5 Rotaract members
Yeah.
involved. And they were very good.
Yeah. Yeah, they're a good group. We did the President-elect leadership training in April, and a few of those students came to that as well. Like I said, they're mostly honor students, but they're a very good group. You know, they're not around in the summer to help us out with things like the fair, but I think during the school year, they'll definitely be a very active group. So, yeah. Other questions?
I just want to say thank you for the homework.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm really serious about that. I feel like, I'm still fairly new to the community. Like I said, new to everybody. So I'd really love to hear what people think. Just, your kind of brainstorming, random ideas would be helpful. Because there's probably a lot that, individuals might know about, but that we don't know about as a group. So
I'm
yeah.
kind of curious about your, you're a self-proclaimed introvert, but yet it seems to me like you reached out to get involved. And I think that's one of the areas that maybe we could be kind of instrumental.
Yeah.
How do we partner with somebody
Yeah.
to welcome new people to the community and let them know
Yeah.
what the opportunities are? How do we reach those people?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of that, we've tried a number of things, but I think a lot of that comes down to individuals, reaching out to people, to friends, even to acquaintances. Like I said, I kind of answered a Facebook post from Kelsey, and I know Kelsey, I like her, but we're not good friends, and so it's just kind of like, oh, here's this person who I can go with for the first time. So, yeah.
Or how many of us could do the same thing that Kelsey did? I think that's a really good idea.
Yeah.
It is one-on-one, recruiting's one-on-one.
Yeah, for sure.
I think Ted Munster's proves that, the number of people he brought into the room.
Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah. So, yeah, I also am one of those people who I can't say no, and I tend to raise my hand. I actually said no to a couple things this year. I was asked to be on some professional boards and stuff, and I was like, nope, I'm doing Rotary this year. Ask me in a couple years. So I'm getting better at that. It's hard. Yeah. Anybody else have questions? I don't think I said it in my talk, but one of the things I want to try to do this year is, we all tend to sit at our same tables every week at lunch, right? I've done that since I was a kid, right? But one of the things I want to try to do is sit at every table at least once to get to know everybody a little bit more individually. I hope that will be welcome. Yeah, Rand?
Sergeant at Arms, I've been a frequent victim of being Sergeant at Arms. Is one of the things I'd love to do is find people who are sitting at the same table with the same people as they were last week.
Yeah.
I think that should be a consistent thing for us.
I agree. Maybe I'll just work that into the opening $5 if you're sitting at the same table from last week. Could do musical chairs. Yeah. Yes.
When Ralph Brown was our permanent sergeant at arms, he used to scour the newspapers every week. Anybody who was in the paper was fine. And he did a very, very good job of that.
That's a good idea, too. Yeah. I'm taking notes.
Poor John Prescott, though, right?
I know. Well, maybe once you've been mentioned twice, you're off the hook or something.
Well, we used to be able to buy insurance against covering it after $25, as I recall.
Hey, how'd that work for you, Arvin?
I'm still paying.
I think we did that last year, the year before, yeah. I think I did buy the insurance, and I think I did not come out on top by that, but that's okay. Any other questions?
One of my favorite Rotary memories, I think it was my second Greg Huckabee invited me, and I was his guest. Do you remember that, Greg? But I sat down at that table, and the retired veterinarian, can't say his name, Greg, help me out. Robchek. He leaned over to me and says, "This is the table for Democrats. That table, indicating to this table right here, is the table for Republicans." Obviously, that's changed.
Anything else anybody wants to know? Anybody ever wants to go birding? I'm always up for that. Always looking for someone to do that with.
Or Vice President of Rotary.
Or be vice president of Rotary, or both at the same time. So, yeah. So, all right.
We're excited for your leadership, Madam President.
Thank you. I'm very excited to be here. This. Also, I fall down a lot, so at some point I'm gonna fall down the stairs. Thank you.
Great ring.
All right. So, I guess it's time for a closing song.
Country